Lots of reps with the ones at right tackle on Saturday. What's the coaching staff seen in your improvement over the last year where they feel like they can plug you into that spot?
I feel like they've seen me learn and grow and take what I've learned from guys like Paucho that I've been watching ahead of me, and they've seen how I've been able to kind of incorporate some of that into my play, and then just see how I'm able to work with everyone on the O-line, communicate, and be a part of the O-line instead of just trying to be an individual.
What does the opportunity mean to you, Josh?
The opportunity is huge to me because I'm able to help the team. I'm able to help the program grow, along with being able to just develop myself and the O-line and communication, football IQ and everything, along with being able to learn from a great staff and a great coach along the way.
Maybe when did it become clear to you that you would have some one opportunities in spring ball? Like, was it an end-of-season meeting with Coach Miller? Like, how did you kind of realize that when the ones were called, you were going to be part of that early on?
About the depth, I wasn't really concerned about with the depth, so I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about what's the best way I could better myself throughout the offseason, what's the best way I could help the team. Like, if I had to switch spots, would I be able to? Got to work on my versatility, being able to go wherever the team needs me, and then being able to work with different guys to learn different strategies and being able to be best fit for any position that I'm ready to get tossed into. So,
Or guys like Paucho, Taylor, and Darren, what's the biggest thing you've learned from them the last couple of years?
The biggest thing that I've learned from them is how to be explosive, football IQ, how to know what I'm looking for on the field, and then what areas of improvement are essential to be able to play in the Big Ten, and then like what's the best way to be successful. Like just watching them in their everyday life, watching the routine, watching the way they eat, watching the way they develop and stuff. It's a lot easier to take all that in while I had someone else watching. Like when I had those experienced guys when I was younger, it was much easier for me than if I was just doing it on my own. So it was really nice to be able to see kind of the steps I had to take to grow and be better.
What was that sort of transition like then when you got here for your first couple practices? What was that process kind of like for you?
It was crazy for me because like I would watch just the progression of people. I'd watch the progression of different people. I'd watch like what the starters do versus everyone else, and I just get to see how everyone kind of went together and gelled together. So it was kind of different to see how everyone works together versus by themselves. So that was probably the biggest thing.
Art said that the Saturday wasn't maybe the best day for the offensive line, but you guys bounced back on Tuesday and you had it going again. Just what does it take to maybe have kind of a rough scrimmage, but then come back the next time out and maybe you work on some of those things?
The best thing is to work on the fundamentals, and as an overall O-line, when you have a bad day, is like we got together and like we make sure to hold one another accountable, and then also to help one another out with the strengths and weaknesses that we had, and like we want to rally together to have a better day the next day rather than just continue the bad mojo. We got to have leaders step up like Isaiah and Pearl to be able to tell us what to do to get better, and they do it by not only telling us and supporting us, but by showing us every day at practice. So
it's a process of acclimating yourself to Coach Miller and Coach Bielema. Obviously, you committed to different people. How'd that go for you?
I feel like it was a very smooth process. It's a great staff. They were very incorporating of me. They made sure that I was treated no differently, that I was a part of it. I was treated like everyone else, and it was just nice to be able to be a part of their process and learn what to do and learn kind of what it takes to be a Division I player.
Walk me through the process of getting your body right to compete in the Big Ten, getting big enough, strong enough. Where did you start with that, and where are you at now?
I started very light, and I had to put some weight on, but the main thing that really helped me putting on weight, as it has throughout my life, is having someone to compete against. So having guys like Barlev and Kreutz to lift with me and push me consistently was nice to have other guys that were just as strong and able to help move along with me. And as I got stronger, they got stronger, and we just kept kind of pushing one another. So that way no one kind of stalled out, because when one person beats you, you don't want to lose. So you obviously want to go and try and beat them. So it was nice to have guys like that to compete against every single day.
How big of a role does nutrition play in that? Did you eat anything you want? Or
Nutrition, everyone thinks that O-line you can, but for me, I try and eat my main meals, and then I try to eat the snacks, and I got to eat healthy. And I'm a type 1 diabetic, so like being that, I got to watch what I eat, a little bit less carbs, more protein. And it's really nice to have guys like Paul on the staff that are able to help me and grow my nutrition background and telling me what to eat, what's most beneficial, and not just junk food to put on fat. So it's really nice to have that.
Seems like an additional challenge, obviously, being a type 1 diabetic. How did you navigate that water? I know you said you had some help from those guys, but was it difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult, but it was really, it made it easier when I have guys in like sports med like Jeremy Bush and Paul that are able to help me monitor it, and then also the help of my coaches being able to know that I'm a diabetic, and like in meetings I'm able to have my phone to monitor it. But then also like Paul, who's our nutritionist right now, follows me around on the field, so that way I'm able to monitor it, keep it in check, and make sure I'm good throughout the entire practice.
As corny as this might sound, do you take anything from Phil's story of being a 250-pound tight end, being a starter on a Big Ten offensive line? Did you ever look at that and go, okay, that could be me?
Yeah, I did look at that, because when I was smaller and I was able to see the way that he was able to transform his body and the way he was able to work his process through, because I saw him go to tackle, then I first saw him at guard, then tackle, then to center, and I was able to see him play all positions. So it was nice to be able to see someone else do it, and again, learn how he does it, so that way I can best do it myself.
Kind of with your condition of being a type 1 diabetic, I think like that would make it kind of hard to gain weight sometimes. What were the hardest parts of that process for you?
The hardest part, I'd say, is being able to monitor my blood sugar with the amount of food that you have to eat, and then being able to correct and work with your endocrinologist about it, because you got to be able to work with the doctors, and then also having great support staff like having Paul and Jeremy follow me around and stuff. They also have access to what's called Dexcom, and I'm able to monitor my blood sugar with that. As I eat, blood sugar goes up, able to correct, and then it's just very beneficial to have that app help me throughout it, along with having supportive people around me to monitor it.
You said kind of you've been competing with Josh Kurtz a little bit. What's it been like to go through this last year with him? I know he's gotten some more reps at the center too.
It's been nice to go throughout the process with him, because I've been with him kind of since the beginning. I early enrolled, but then he came in, and I was able to kind of be a part of that group, and we're able to form bonds there that we're able to help communicate and be more fluent in practice. And then during our reps, we're able to communicate better, and we know how to communicate because we talk to one another on a regular basis, so it kind of makes it easier to just make calls or make decisions.
Xavier's here as well, if anyone else is here.
I know it's not that many practices yet. Do you think the O-line in general has taken some steps as far as cohesion this spring? I know it takes some time, especially with some new guys.
I think that we've taken major steps in communicating and being aware, and I think not only with the ones but with the overall group, we've learned to be more one unit rather than a bunch of units of individuals. We've been learning to be a group rather than an individual, so I feel like we've been working very well together, and we're going to continue to work well, and we're just going to do the best that we can and support one another throughout the entire thing.